So we just found a body, so given that I just found a body, it now follows to take guesses as to who killed that person. So in case you could possibly have forgotten who got killed, it was Fujita, who was the super high school level composer. And we don't know how he was killed quite yet. We haven't gotten the file. I forgot what, there's a name for it. The file that you get when someone gets killed. That might tell you the cause of death or might not, depending on whether you know it or not makes it more interesting. But we could visually observe in the artwork of his dead, what do you ever call it? You call the CG of the dead body, that he had a ligature. So that suggests hanging. But with these Danganronpa cases, there's oftentimes things like, oh, and there was also poison. And it's almost always the case that if there's also poison, that it was actually the poison that did it. You can't, or there's also a wound on the back of his head or something like that. Given this is the first case of this fan game, so I expect it to be rather elementary, so that the maker of the fan game can preserve their intellectual energy for the later cases. But there is precedent in Danganronpa for things like that, and the fan game maker might have fun making it tricky from the very start. But what we need to see initially is a ligature. There is something that suggests that maybe that's not how he died. I'll get into that. Maybe. So he's the guy who died. Very, very early on, I tried to predict who would be killed in Chapter 1, and I think I predicted Misako actually very early on, because Misako seemed like she was in a leadership position in a similar way to how the ultimate imposter was at the beginning of Danganronpa 2. And this game does pro-state Danganronpa 2. And Danganronpa V3 does that, but that doesn't count. And then, for some reason later on, I don't remember why exactly, I switched it to guessing that Yukari would die. And after that, I suggest, or Yukari would commit the murder, one or the other. And then I switched over to Seina even later. And it turned out that Fujita, which is not on any of my lists of predictions, ended up the one that would die. Now, he wouldn't necessarily been a bad choice, because there was some character focus on him and his quirks. It was extremely obvious that his concentration mode, where he can't be bothered by anything, or becomes completely numb to everything outside his cognition, would play an important role in the story of the first murder. So him being the victim, or the blackened, wouldn't have been a bad thing to guess, and you could argue I should have guessed it, and you would be correct. But anyway, I didn't. But he's got a person that got killed. Okay. Now, this is somewhat frustrating. It's important and very important in Danganronpa, including Danganronpa fan games, to pay very close attention to what happens leading up to the murder. So, like, what happens right before the murder. Oftentimes, that sequence of events is much more important than the actual investigation that takes place after the murder. And I have failed, and that I did not properly remember what happened in the sequence right up to the murder, and that may be a big mistake. Mistake right off the bat, like I failed immediately on my first murder. Gee. Now you might go, well, didn't you go back and watch that video because you had to in order to make those translations for the pinned comment on part 3? And yeah, but I only searched for where there was a pinned comment, where I exposed, I didn't actually go back to the game for this, I went actually back to the video. Exposed those character profiles and then copy them. I intentionally didn't look anywhere else in that video because I consider it a type of cheating to go back and look at your old footage when making predictions about what's going to happen next in a mystery game. So I managed to restrain myself. So I forgot if the conversation between the main character, which I still don't remember what his name is, honestly. I don't have it written down. In my notes, he's just always called Protag. And Misako, where Misako is saying, thank you for not making me have to be alone with Kana. So Kana, or I think that's actually short for something. It's short for Kanayaho, and the family name is Ise, who's the super high school level voice actor. Apparently, she's really obnoxious and kind of annoys Misako. Whether or not that happens late in the afternoon, before, and then from there, Kana goes with Fujita to go do the broadcast, or that happened in the morning. I know that the main character slept all day, but I don't know if this is like before the main character started sleeping or after he woke up to listen to Kana. Or whatever. I don't remember, like, if it happened in the morning or in the afternoon. It probably happened in the morning, but then I failed to remember if it happened in the morning or the afternoon. So, if it did happen in the afternoon, that would mean that Misako and the Protag and Yukari were all in that cafeteria. In Korean, they use like the Korean word for that's usually translated restaurant. It's like sikdong or sindong. I forgot the exact word. Because I guess I don't have a specific different words for like a restaurant versus a cafeteria versus like a pub versus anyway. Various kinds of restaurant-like things. And a cafeteria isn't necessarily an institution. I ate at a restaurant-like place that was open to the public and commercial once on like a school field trip that they called themselves a cafeteria. Because it's kind of like how that place operated. It was like kind of like a cafeteria where you're like a line and you ask the people, I'd like some of this and some of that. The way the restaurant was organized made sense that they call it a cafeteria. Anyway, so they're in the cafeteria. So Misako and Yukari and the Protag would be in the cafeteria from when potentially maybe Fujita came to get Kana to when Fujita is murdered. That being said, I don't remember if Fujita comes to get Kana or not. I would think that I forgot if he does that or not. I know he does. He comes to get Seina. I forgot if he comes to get Kana. So I'm forgetting all kinds of things about this, which is bad. If he doesn't even come to get Kana, Kana just leaves and by herself goes to the gym. That changes things. So, what I'm trying to say here is that Misako and Yukari and the Protag could have this super rock-solid alibi that's unshakable. Except but I don't know if I remember what happened. I don't really remember exactly what happened there, so I'm not exactly sure. That being said, the protagonists, Yukari and Misako, aren't really good candidates to be the Black End anyway, so it's not really that big a deal. But yeah, I forgot when that conversation took place. And how it ended, how Kana left. Which is a big oof. Okay. So another set of characters that's important is, and I do actually remember this correctly, who were these students that were in the restaurant waiting for the broadcast to start, and were in the restaurant for 20 minutes waiting for it to start before they concluded that something is probably wrong, and Toreya, the Protag, and is it Yukari? Yeah, Yukari, the Protag, and Toreya went down to the gym to check on things. So those were Yukari, of course, and the Protag, and Toreya, Seina. Toreya is the super high school level architect, by the way, if you forgot. If you have a hard time with the names like me. Seina, the super high school level violinist, although you should probably picked up on that by now, because her name gets said a lot. Mikihiko, the SHL so I should probably abbreviate it by now. The SHL puppeteer, Takahara, the SHL parkour artist, and Tato, the SHL farmer. You can see their chibis in the restaurant for those 20 minutes. So, now the time of death comes into play. Because if the time of death was really close to when when the broadcast was supposed to start, which I forgot what that time is. If I were to guess, isn't it 7 p.m. or something like that? Not exactly sure. That should matter. That matters a whole lot. I should take note of it the next time it's mentioned in the game. Yes, not only should you keep track of the sequence of events leading up to the murder very closely, you should also keep track of the exact timestamps of things. Because if things have exact timestamps, it's definitely going to be important later. So, oops. Then they have an alibi. Now, the page of notes that Monokuma gives you doesn't necessarily always give you the time of death, especially if it's obscure and important. If the murder happened a long time before the broadcast was supposed to start, and Fujita didn't come to pick up Kana, then those guys don't have an alibi. And I suspect they don't anyway. Because the person who you would think would be the Black End is extremely likely to be Seina. So I'm pretty confident it's Seina right now. And Seina was in that cafeteria. And so for it to be it's like almost like I'm picking the Black End first and then trying to undo the evidence. If Seina was in the cafeteria when the broadcast was supposed to start, that means the murder would have to happen quite a while before the broadcast was supposed to start. Right? Next, what's important is to look at what characters had a lot of focus or dialogue during the chapter and which ones had less. Because in Danganronpa, there's a lot of characters, right? And if you have a character that's going to die, the only chance you get to expound on that character to show their character is, well, before they die. And so typically you do it before they die. And for the people that would get killed in Chapter 1, they have to do it in Chapter 1 because that's the only chance you get. And the ones in Chapter 2, they tend to do that in Chapter 2 because they won't do it in Chapter 1 because that takes away some of the focus from chapter people you're supposed to focus on in Chapter 1, so they get slipped down to Chapter 2 and so on in sequence. This gets more blurred out as you go down further down the timeline. You had more chances to focus on characters earlier, and there was fewer characters that need to be fewer characters, and so if you're focusing on one in particular, it's less obvious. Now, that being said, with one as a caveat, the Black End in the first Danganronpa game, Trigger Happy Havoc, was Leon. And Leon doesn't really contribute a whole lot before his death. So, this is not always true. But because of it, but it is true usually, even if it wasn't the case so much for Leon. Leon is kind of the exception rather than the rule. This is especially true if a character displays their ultimate or their super high school level talent. When the super high school level musician in Danganronpa 2 shows your talent for the first time, and the dancer also shows her talent for the first time in conjunction, she gets killed in that chapter. Also, the Black End of that chapter, which was Mikon, right, the super high school level nurse, she suddenly is now capable of being a nurse. She acts like a nurse, has a facility to do so in, and then she turns into a Black End. I don't know why Chapter 3 of Danganronpa 2 comes to mind so much, but it does. And I think of Chapter 2 of Danganronpa 2, and I think about displaying your ultimate talent. It's a good way to make it look like you're about to die. Now, sometimes the ultimate talent is displayed in the actual doing of the murder, like in the case of Leon, in the case of the super high school level breeder. What was his name? I talked about hell all the time. His Dark Devas of Destruction, how many he had. But anyway, that guy in Danganronpa 2, I don't remember the names very well, display their ultimate talent in the murder. Or the super high school level. I slip back to ultimate all the time. Super high school level talent in the murder, which can make things a little more obscure. But in general, characters with more focus or more conflict shown in that chapter are more likely to be the blackened. So those would be. So the focus first was on Fujita because we had to learn about his concentration mode. That was something that when we learned about it, we could be almost absolutely certain would have something to do with the murder. But he ended up being the victim, so he got excluded because he's the victim now. He didn't kill himself, just in the same way Epstein didn't kill himself. No, that's a joke. Or not, or maybe, I don't know. But usually there isn't a suicide in the first chapter, especially in the fan. It's disappointing to write a suicide, so I wouldn't expect him to show up in fan games that often. Especially not early in the game. And that can get me on a side tangent in that it's likely Kana didn't immediately rush back and say, Fujita's dead, Fujita's dead. Just kind of hung out in there because it may not have been obvious that Fujita is dead. She might have decided he was in concentration mode or something. That's really what you do with concentration mode, it seems, is like obscure a death. Now, you could also use it to just make it so that he's easy to kill because he's oblivious when he's in that mode. But that's lame. But they could use it like that too. So next is Seina. She displays her super high school level talent. And for some reason, just even beyond that, I have this feeling that she's the blackened. There's something in my viscera, there's something in my gut that tells me she's the blackened. She just feels like the blackened. I don't know all the details, but she really feels like she's the blackened. So Seina, a lot of focus. Kana. I don't think Kana's the blackened. Because in Danganronpa, even in the first case, although we need to forget about it in Danganronpa 1 because this character was the protagonist, there's always a red herring. There's always someone who at first seems like to the other characters, but never the player, because the player knows what's going on, that obviously did it, that didn't do it, right? Kana seemed like the person they would immediately pin it on, because she was the one in that room alone with the body, right? And didn't do anything. Like, she didn't go back and report the death or something. Oh, I found him dead in there. She just hung out in there with the dead body for like 20 minutes. Now, your question would be raised, well, why would you do that if you were the blackened? Like, why would you make it obvious? And she is kind of a bit of a red herring to the player because of her very standout reaction to the motivation video. She seemed the most traumatized by it. So, these two things, that's not really something for the characters, though, that's something for the player. But I still think, despite that, being red herring for the player makes you less likely to be less of a thing, like less likely to be a red herring as opposed to being a red herring for the characters. It's less of an evidence of being a red herring. I still think she's a red herring. She's going to be the red herring character. But she is more likely to be the blackened than some other characters we're going to get to later. We also have Toreya. Toreya is, I think it's a she, right, is kind of becoming part of the protag inner circle a little bit here, and that she goes with the protag to go discover the body. Being part of the protag inner circle earlier in the game, as opposed to being part of the protag inner circle later in the game, tends to make you slightly more likely to be killed. This script flips later. Like, you either get killed in the chapter 1, or you don't get killed till chapter 5, or you survive. You really get killed in the middle if you're in the protag's inner circle. So that same thing sort of applies with Yukari, right? Like, Yukari is the one person who sticks to the protag the closest. That makes her likely to get killed early or killed late. This is a fan game, so she could get killed in the middle. There is some speculation that she might get killed in Chapter 2 because of how few free time event cards she has. She only has 3. But only based on that. Like, only the few free time event cards. The plot would suggest that it's either killed early, like Chapter 1, she's a black in Chapter 1, or late. But based on the evidence, which we don't have very much of yet, it's very unlikely for Yukari to be the blackened in Chapter 1, so she's probably going to survive really late. Anyway, going back to Toreya. She has a lot of lines. She takes a lot of screen time. She gets in this big fight with the ultimate parkour. So Toreya is the ultimate architect, who has this weird accent that I don't know how to interpret because I don't know Korean well enough to know Korean slang stuff. And she's very combative and kind of mean. She gets in she hates the ultimate parkour guy, which is Takahara for some reason. I guess architects don't like parkour people. And she grabbed Fujita by the lapel. Was kind of aggressive on Fujita in the audio-visual room after watching the motivation videos. And is going through this arc. There's a little bit of character arc having to do with this murder. I wouldn't think that Toreya is the one who did it because it's like the whole tragedy. You're supposed to like develop a character by making them go through the whole tragedy of wronging somebody and then them getting killed before you can apologize. It's possible but Toreya set it up like she's trying to act like she went to go to apologize to Fujita, to act like she thought he wasn't dead, to try to get suspicion off of her. But what I'm just trying to say is Toreya is a more high character focus character, which makes her more likely to be the black and the lower character focus character. I don't think Toreya is the black end. You can tell I think the black end is Saina. But she's a higher focus character, which makes her higher up there. Then the hair designer, Chinami. You would think that maybe that they would get rid of her rather early because every day they have to make up a new sprite. They had to make a new chibi and sprite set for her, which is a lot of work, so there's a lot of motivation by the developer to kill her off. But the developer can also impress the players by keeping her around to keep changing her hair. Given the developer only finished 2 chapters, but maybe it's going off the ideas of things. But she seems to have a lot of lines and such. So that's why she's kind of a higher focused character. Then we have the interpreter, Ryo. Right? Ryo seems to be having a lot of lines. He's bringing up the idea that he thinks that the threshold to push somebody past in order to get them to commit a murder is pretty low. So he's asking, do we honestly believe that none of us would be willing to commit a murder? Right? He says that kind of he's got some focus, right? He's adding some philosophy, some thought, and contributing to these conversations. So he's kind of a higher focused character. Don't really think he's the black end, don't really see him being the black end, but he's a higher focused character. Tato is a little bit of a higher focused character, and that he took a blow for Tato's super high skill level farmer, by the way, took a blow for Chinami when Chinami went al mondo and got a bullet in the arm. That's all really. He doesn't really have a lot of focus beyond that. His amount of focus is almost like the amount of focus Kirigiri had in Chapter 1 of Danganronpa, of the original Danganronpa. But he's worthy to put on this list. Yukari, the super high level dating coach, of course she has a lot of focus because she's hanging out with the protagonist a lot. Like Sayaka from the first game, but she doesn't really seem to be kind of in a relationship with them. Misako, being her leader, being all the leader and such, seems to be getting more focus. Higher focus. She might have a rock solid alibi, I don't know because I don't remember. Don't really think she's the black end, but she does have more focus. So catch me on that afterwards. And then the parkour guy, Takahara, slightly less focused than the other people I have written here, but he does seem to have kind of a high level of lines. So he's somewhat of a higher focused character. Then we have characters that are seemingly just kind of there just to breathe the air and really don't have very much any consequences whatsoever to the plot. these characters are extremely unlikely to be the Blackened because they haven't had a chance to show themselves yet. But they could in the investigation and trial. Kind of reminds me of like Danganronpa V3, where you had these characters like Kibo and Kokichi in the first trial, where you didn't really have an alibi for them, but you also didn't really have any evidence that pointed to them, and you just kind of wrote them off because, like, there's just nothing to point to them. Especially Kibo. Like, there's no reason to believe Kibo didn't do it, but there's no reason to believe he did. That's what these guys are like. So, super high skill level archer, Kanjiro, doesn't really contribute anything. He's kind of there. Right, he's another character they had to make 16. So it's not likely to be the Blackened at this point. It's turning out to be kind of a bit of a Yasuhiro, like the super high skill level fortune teller or clairvoyant kind of person. Miki Hiko, the super high skill level puppeteer, doesn't really do anything, just kind of breathes there. Mai, the super high skill level researcher, again isn't really doing anything, just kind of there breathing. Akero, the super high school level erotic ninja, doesn't really contribute anything either. She's just there breathing air. And Shoujo, yes, I am putting him in this category, the super high school level cuber, is also not really contributing anything. He's there just breathing air. There's all this drama about him hiding himself from the other characters, but I mean, they haven't shown anything of him because of that, and it kind of makes him ruled out. Makes him kind of a red herring, possibly, but he makes him kind of ruled out, honestly. He's turning out to be a Byakuya, of course, or a Fuyuhiko, where he's going to be kind of closeted at first, and he's going to come out of his shell and almost turn into like a leader-like character later on in the game. That's what Shoujo comes across to me like. He's very likely to be a survivor in the same way that Byakuya and Fuyuhiko were in Danganronpas 1 and 2. And to somewhat of a lesser extent, Maki from B3. So, yeah, Kanjiro, Mikihiko, Mai, Akaru, and Shoujo, they're just really not likely. They're just really, like, not on the table. So, if I had to guess who the Blackened is going into the investigation, it's just Seina. Like, it's gotta be Seina. It just has to be Seina. I don't know why. My brain's just locked in on it being Seina. And I'll take some notes as I go along and see if that guess changes as I go through this investigation. Let's continue. Enter. Bring up the text extractor window. Say 15, yeah, sure. 7 hours in. Okay. Yeah, that's the, So, I couldn't believe it, is the text. There's nothing important in this upper corner. I can hide the text extractor there. See, it's just like the base of the computer monitor. This Fujita, we see a ligature on him. Right here. It does look like he has a slump. So, I guess it would be hard to believe that you wouldn't be able to tell he wasn't in concentration mode. Because in concentration mode, he seems to be sitting upright, right? Have some bread. Or sausages, but it looks like bread. Some orange juice. I guess he's always eating or something. So I guess Mitda is to believe. So Su is like can, and then Apazda is like negation. So it's I could not believe. I didn't want to believe it, right? So Sipda is want. And then Sipchi Abasta is, or on Hazda, it negates Sipda. And so it's I do not want. And for some reason you use this co-ending when you use want. I don't actually understand why that is, I just know it is. I didn't want to admit this absurd situation that was happening right in front of me. I've already read this part, by the way, because it's a save file. I'm going to read it again, though. Because I couldn't, you can't save in this part for some reason. Hajiman, which is like, but, somewhat. Fujita! Yeah, I know they're doing it Fujita because it probably is Fujita in the Japanese. It's just you have to spell it Fujita in the Korean. Ai, Fujita! Yuskini! Yuskini, eh? Ichei-san! And it looks like Google Translate cannot actually translate, oh, let me get like a Yoshini. That whole thing. I'm gonna bring up I need a window with deep L in it. Let's see if deep L can deal with some of these weird kind of slang onomatopoeia things. Yoshin. Okay, no, it doesn't. So I guess it's just like a word you say. It doesn't really mean anything in and of itself. Interesting. It's just a noise. I don't like this. Or more like, I hate this. This. Reality once again informed me of its harshness. Our friend, Fujita Yosaku, is dead. So, Chuka's da, dead. Chuk. Or Chuk's death. Hopefully I can remember that. I learned it at one time, and Chuk was death, and then forgot about it. The thing that brought me back to I was brought back from my unconscious mind, I think would be better. Or the thing, nope, actually continues. Okay, the thing that brought me back from my unconscious mind was a broadcast that came out of nowhere. Campus broadcasting, which I think is actually, is what it says, like it's a kyone. A body has been discovered. And then he repeats it. A body has been discovered. Which now in the English translation of the original Danganronpa, they don't have him say it twice. After a certain amount of time for investigation, we will conduct a class trial. A detailed explanation will be held at the gym, so please gather at the gym as soon as possible. Isong. Or Isang. What? This program... What is this class trial? Here's the architect Torre. So I believe it's actually a she. It's just hard to like... It is a very masculine looking character design. With like the shoulders and the masculine face and stuff. So sometimes I misgender her, if you want to call it that. A body's been found. Someone died. Who's dead, damn it? Yushing. So she's using that phrase too. Yuching. Oh, it's actually yo, because the Sims put Yoching. Kajuki. I gotta write down the main character's name is Kajuki. Kajuki. Right? I keep forgetting it. Kajuki. Is Yusakoga. Yusakoga. Is Yusakoga? Yusakoga! Which I presume that's Fujita's last name. Yusakuga. Ko and Ku I keep mixing up. They point to... Anyway. The three lose their reason in front of Fujita's corpse. Watching the pitiful appearance of I guess their pitiful performance. Watching their pitiful appearance, I felt like I would break out in tears if I moved. My friend died. And then I refused to translate the rest of that sentence. Or after the ... There is no human in this world who would not be sad, I guess. Nagacha. Let's go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Now. If we're here, I guess, even if we're here, even if here, I guess, well, I'll just say, even if I'm here, nothing will change. Ai! Watanabe! Even you! This guy is dead now! So yeah, it's pretty easy. Chigum is now. He is this. Wasaki is like a dude or a guy. And then Chuk, death. Verb always comes at the end. Chukasa! Which just means he's just dead! Banbak Haryong deliberately spoke in a harsh tone, as if Atsubaki's corpse was trying to refute him. Okay, wait, this is getting confusing. So, okay, so first of all, Akatsubaki is Torea, so she's the one who's actually speaking in a harsh tone. So the translator's having a hard time putting the nouns in the right place, as usual with Korean. As if, there we go, that's a better, okay. As if trying to refute somebody, as if trying to interrupt somebody as to refute them. For the purpose of refuting them, Akatsubaki spoke in a harsh tone. If I didn't do this, I would have accepted it because of her personality. Oh. She did this to me or something like that. He's already dead. Can't bring him back to life by yelling at him. I promised not to do that, but the moment I heard the words that he had died, pitifully my eyes grew hot and ended up shedding tears. Yokshin. Akatsubaki. Ise. Please. I left behind Akatsubaki. He nodded quietly and reached out to Yukari, who was sitting on the floor. What? Okay, left behind may not necessarily be the right thing here. Okay, Akatsubaki nodded quiet. I guess it's like, okay, so who's, you get the nouns messing up. Who is nodding? Okay, Akatsubaki Akatsubaki is an object. So we're leaving Akatsubaki. Somehow. And then I then reach out to Yukari, who's sitting on the floor. Okay. So, Protag, leaving Akatsubaki, goes to Yukari and reaches out to her. Yeah, Akatsubaki goes to Kana. Let's go, Yukari. Instead of answering, Yukari slowly held out her trembling hand. I held her hand and headed outside, leaving the broadcasting room behind. When I came out, the other kids that were gathered came into view. Now, I think I counted them last time, and there weren't any missing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then Akatsubaki, Kana, and Torii Akatsubaki, Kana, and the corpse are inside, right? Fujita are inside. So 3 inside, and they lost count. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It adds up to 16, so they're all here. That broadcast that just came on, what the hell was it talking about? A corpse? Or a body? Is it just a broadcast? Hey, Monokuma's voice sounds so real. What? Please tell me it's just a broadcast. It's not like you suddenly became dumb or something. Oh. Talking to Tato. I want to say that nothing happened. That it was just Monokuma's vicious prank. But now we all need to know that the broadcast just now was all true. Monokuma? Yes, by the protag. As you can see, the victim is Yosaku Fujita, a super high school level composer. As expected, it's hard to see fat characters surviving until the end. So he's supposed to be like the super high school level imposter. I mean, that is a... Since when has any of the survivors been fat in any of the Danganronpa games? Never, right? No, I can't think of a single one. What? Fujita? Is that a lie? It can't be. Okay, let's pay attention to her lines carefully. Seisange, right? Seisange. Oh my goodness. Yosaku-san? Huh. Cha. She gets like, now. Let's wait until the rest of the students arrive. The academy the headmaster of this academy says that there must be some people who can't attend. Oh. 2 people hanging out in the broadcast room over there. In. So they come in. The two of them came out of the broadcast room as soon as Monokuma finished his words. It was Akatsubaki, who was glaring at Monokuma as if he were going to kill him while supporting Ise, who had a completely white face. To get back to the main topic, I am very glad that you all seem to understand Mr. Lee's heart very well. Mr. Lee's heart well. Huh? Why is it... Okay, there's all kinds of things wrong here. First of all, this right here, this word song sing yim is teacher. This is possessive. So this is the teacher's possessive. This I presume is heart, right? But why is it translating it to Mr. Lee. What the heck, Google Translate? I'm gonna throw this into, gotta take the Monokuma off the front and see if that actually does anything. I'm very glad that you all understand the feelings of Teacher Lee well. I assume it's supposed to be of your teacher very well. That would make more sense. Right, okay. Yeah, that was... For some reason it like translated teacher to Mr. Lee. Which, Sang Sing Nim doesn't sound anything like Mr. Lee. Or like, at last. The long-awaited first murder has occurred. Now, everyone applaud. What kind of applause? Oh. Is that her new hair? I keep for Shinami, right? Is that Shinami's new hair? Oh, I could just read it off the list there. That actually looks pretty good. Calm down for now. Oh, okay. Calm down? What calm down? I will definitely blow that unlucky bastard. I don't think he has a thing to blow him with. If you do, you may die for violating the school rules. You idiot. Or this idiot. So, is like Mong Chang like idiot, like baka? Yes! If you just put one finger on my body, I'll punish you right away. By the way, I announced it in the broadcast earlier, but I'll explain it again. From now on, after a certain amount of research time, the class trial will begin, so everyone try your best. Which is how much research time it takes until I think you've researched enough, which is arbitrary. Just as I will continue to prolong the trial until you finally come to the right answer, because I don't want this game to actually end by you voting for the wrong person. Class trial? Maybe she didn't expect there to be one? A class trial is a kind of trial that is held several hours after a murder occurs. That decision is made by discussing among you. Oh, or just like, the decision. The trial's purpose? Good question. I'll explain. From now on, or starting now, I will explain. All the girls on the left and all the boys on the right. The purpose of the trial is simple. All you have to do is find the blackened hiding among the white. Okay. That's really weird. I never heard of like the whitens being used in the English translation of this, but yeah. Hayong does mean white. Gomchong does mean black. So it is like black, not blackened, grammatically. I'm just used to calling it blackened from the English translation. But yeah, I guess a more literal translation of this would be to find the black hiding among the white. Like actually just black, not blackened. Well, clone girl. If time to get on the Judas cradle. Okay. If you guys do a good job finding the black, only the black who disrupted the harmony will be punished, and you guys have to continue living together. It's dragged away. Is this a hint about who this blackened is? The person just to the left of Monokuma? If you point to the wrong person as the black, then everyone except the black will be punished, and the black who won the trial can escape from this school with pride. I really like this. This is done a lot better than in the original with like the chess pieces or whatever. This is whoever made this. Good job at improving on Danganronpa. In the rules, the item that the black person must not be... Okay. There is a item in the rules. The black person must not be exposed. Okay. This is getting messed up by the name. The B is... I guess that's an expression. The way in which that occurs, what that means is, to put it simply, it's execution. So I guess Cha Hyung is execution. Cha Hyung? That's right, Cha Hyung. Tingling with the electric chair, hanging on the gallows, with a big blade, something like that. What? Something like that? If we don't get the right culprit, that means we'll die. Those would be very creative executions, though. We'll be for some creative executions. That's why Danganronpa 2 sucked. No. It's nice to see that you catch on so fast. Or, yeah, that you understand so fast. You are the one... It's whatever Ise guy is. I presume it's like, understand. You are the one who decides the culprit, and you are the one who is responsible for the outcome. Do you think it's fair? Or real? Or you have a Chungmar in here, which is kind of like, really? Do you think it's Chungmar fair? That's why you'll have to work hard. It's going to be a trial where your lives depend on. Oh, tell me in advance. Is this a compulsory participation? I'll tell you in advance. If you don't participate, I will give you a terrible punishment. Don't be ridiculous. Why do we do that? Hold on, tighter. Why is power so good? That's an awkward translation. I guess it's like, why do you like power so much? Let's go. Oh, I'm surprised. You there, one warning. If you get 2 warnings in the future, it's only a red card. I'll punish you according to my will, you know that? Then put aside that threat of violence students. To save you guys the trouble of researching, I have prepared a special gift for you. Oh yeah, it's called the Monokuma file. That's what everyone is called. This file is a meticulous recording about the corpse. It's called the Monokuma file. Or da Monokuma Pyre. It's a file. Pyre. Even if it's you do the investigation, you are beginners. So there's a limit to how much you can investigate, right? I've got it sorted out. Or get it, that means... Yes, I can find out the details of the case, the culprit, and all the other miscellaneous things. You guys know that too, right? Surveillance cameras on campus. I was looking at everything with that. Otherwise, I couldn't make a fair judgment in the class trial. you say this is fair? Who knows if that's a lie? Shouldn't there be... Stupid! Babu! Shouldn't there be no benefit to me if I don't do it fairly? Okay, would there be a benefit to me if I didn't do it fairly? I mean, that's for meta reasons, of course. And I'll assure you in advance, I may exercise my right to remain silent in class trials, but I will never lie about anything I can teach you guys. Well, Monokuma is like one of those characters where there's a strong tendency for him not to lie, but he doesn't absolutely never not lie. Or absolutely never lie. There are specific famous instances of him lying. So, he lies less than you would think, but he still lies. The class trial is the most important event in this communal life. If it gets ruined by taking sides, that's what it's all about. That's not a good translation. But, I assume what they're trying to mean is that would make the communal life pointless. Or something. I hope that word fair is not a lie. I wouldn't want fair, I want him to side with the not blackened. Believe in me. I am honest, Monokuma. Then do your research diligently. It's like a test you must pass if you don't want to die. Hurry! Monokuma disappeared just like that. With those of us facing despair. A situation that has become confusing. Throwing us into an ordeal we had no choice but to accept. Ellipses. The fact that someone had died was certainly a shock, but what scares me even more is that the murderer is quietly holding his breath among us. Or her breath. Anxiety about the irrational situation that we will lose our lives if we don't find that person. Or I was anxious about it. The situation. That we would lose our lives if we didn't identify the person. Now that this has happened, we have no choice but to look at each other with suspicion. Only there are some kids who showed a relatively calm appearance even in the worst situation. Everyone, let's move. Misako! If... Okay. Let's try to get this right. If Monokuma goes so far as to say that, he really intends to do so. I don't know who the culprit is, but if we don't find it, our lives are in danger. Something like that. New sprite. But anyway, if you stay still, you won't get any porridge or food. Let's start by looking for the culprit. You mean the rice. That's strange, because I do see Bab does mean rice. I guess it's an expression. Okay. That first word there. Dongam imnida. Dongam imnida. Dongam imnida didn't actually get translated. That's to be. That's I. That's okay. It's to agree. So I agree. Because he has shown endless and extraordinary things so far, it would be wise to do what he has told us to do, or what we are told to do. A person who has already died, well, it can't be helped. What are you talking about? I'm just saying this because my life is precious, so I don't want to take it too... So I don't want to take it, you to take it too deeply. Nurnguri. Well, you're doing your own research or not, I will act alone. Don't disturb me. I will make sure I will avenge Fujita's enemies. Let's see here. I will break their teeth. Trying to do a separation here. So we will translate. Be sure to clarify. Oh, to clarify, I will avenge Fujita's enemy. Karam. Then, why don't we first decide who will do site preservation? Site preservation? Not the protag, because the protag has to go around and investigate. There is a possibility that the culprit may damage the scene. To prevent that, we need 2 people to guard the scene. Hey, Toshiro, can you take care of it? He's the parkour guy, right? His names are hard still. I still don't have them down. No, Takahara. Oh my goodness. Who's Toshiro? Oh, is he the archer? He's the archer guy, right? What? Me? Oh, no, okay. Toshiro Takahara. Yes, parkour. Guessed right the first time. You and Torei. Huh. Like, why those people? Like, you 2 people who hate each other, you guard the body together. Yes. Me too? Yes. With this, even if either side is the culprit, it won't be easy to destroy the evidence. Because they hate each other? If that's the case, leave it to me. I keep it strict. I don't like it, because I noticed that she's suspicious. I'll join her. I'll join you. Huh. Maybe he's suspicious? Thank you for your hard work. That did not translate well. Let me try to do a deep L. I don't like that you're suspicious. That's better. So it's basically like, I don't like that Toshiro is suspicious. Because she just hates Toshiro for some reason. Which suggests that this was like a romance game, which sometimes there is some romance in Danganronpa. Like, Toshiro x Torei is like Toreya is a ship. Like, they're gonna get together eventually. Because the pair that hate each other, hatred somehow breeds romantic relationship. Somehow. Seeing Misako calmly leading the children, even in such a situation, I realized anew. Is there really no choice but to do it now? Sad and resentful, I felt like a chimney. But I felt like I could get rid of these feelings by doing some research first. What, you felt like you're filled with ash? First, I decided to go to the site of Fujita's body and start my investigation. Will Carrie read the Monokuma file? Would you like to hear an explanation of the investigation? Yeah, sure, I hit yes. At some point after a body is found, an investigation will automatically start. During the investigation, the truth bullet, which for some reason is translated as horse bullet, I presume they're the same word, like they're like homonyms of each other. The horse bullet item in the electronic student notebook is activated, and the truth bullets can be obtained by examining nearby objects or talking to a specific person. Horse bullets. So that's like a Lucagen joke. If you don't collect enough of these horse bullets. Today I learned that horse and truth are the same word in Korean. As needed, you won't be able to proceed with the story after this, so let's carefully check the materials that can serve as evidence. During the investigation period, some contents, such as using the Q shortcut and using the concession stand and obtaining the Monokuma medal, are not supported. So please be careful while playing. Let the investigation begin. So that means deadly life. Investigation music. Okay. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, do I have to enter to investigate? Or spacebar? Food. There we go. There are bread and drinks that have not been touched. Who brought them? Was it brought by Fujita? When Fujita fell into concentration mode, he didn't even react if someone shook him from the side. Then who brought it? Yeah, but why would concentration mode be like a doubt, make him doubt that Fujita brought the food? He could have brought the food, put it there, go into concentration mode and not eat it, right? Because he didn't know he would go into concentration mode. Of course, he couldn't eat it while in concentration mode, but we planned that out? I mean, acquired food on the desk bullet. Okay. So, check song A. So check is like book. Check song A is desk. Nuin, I guess, would be like on. And then imseek is food. I guess the der makes it plural, so it's like multiple foods. Cool. Oh, I guess we're doing this conversation now. It's really cold in here. Can't you turn off that air conditioner? Oh, they gotta do like, they made it cold to make the body cool down faster, to make the time of death, like, seem like less long ago than it really was. Oh, Aoi can come in here and turn the time of death, can't she? Maybe. Huh. So, if it's really cold in there, it suggests that the body died a long time ago, because you make the room cold to make it seem like the body died sooner ago. Right? So I'm going to write that down in my notes here. So first note is suggested relationship. Between food not touched concentration mode and who brought it. The second is coldness. Suggests a wait, I got this backwards. A soon time of death that the culprit was trying to make seem older. To make the body colder so that it seemed like it died further, like, longer ago. Got it mixed up. Or just obscure the time of death in general, right? I haven't looked in the Monokuma file yet. Since we're investigating, I think we need to preserve the scene. Although it's definitely cold. To be honest, I don't mind being cold. That guy. How cold is that? Oh, how cold is he? At the end, Takahara's gazed at the cold body of Fujita. And says, "Who? Which one is it?" Suddenly my heart feels heavy. Okay, so it is cold in there. Can I look at the Monokuma file? Yeah, student handbook. One, two. Third one is the food. So I'm going to remove the text extractor, and I'm going to translate this off recording and try to put a translation in the pin comment. So off, on. And I'll go back to at the end of the video, so it makes it I don't have to rewatch the whole video to do it. Okay. We have 11 of them defined. What about, so... What's really weird here is, isn't the Monokuma file, like... Isn't that a truth bullet? Like, can I find that under the truth bullets? Yeah, shouldn't the Monokuma file be a truth bullet? How do you get to the Monokuma file? Huh. Maybe I just haven't unlocked it yet. I have to talk to someone who unlocks it. Okay, let's go straight to the corpse and see if we see... Oh, let's talk to Mai, actually. Well, I can't talk... There we go. Huh. She'll have something to say later. And if I talk to the... If I discuss with the corpse, she'll show up. Fujita. The cold body of Fujita is lying in a sitting position on a chair. Also, the coldness suggests that Takahara didn't do it because if the culprit intentionally made it cold, they wouldn't point it out. That's something to note. Okay, the cold body of Fujita is lying in a sitting position on the chair. At first glance, his eyes are just closed, and he has a calm expression that seems like it would happen if he woke up even now. Fujita, who worked harder than anyone else to bring a little vitality to this harsh, confined life. The thought of never seeing his smiling face made me want to cry again. Oh, the Monokuma file. We're gonna get it now in truth bullets. Oh, it's not translating it for me. I'll have to check the Monokuma file, right? Okay, here's the Monokuma file. So, it turns out the text extractor box is not blocking any of it, trust me. Well, I'll just show you. There's just blackness behind there, and the word file. So, this is image text, so it's not translating anything of it. So, PHI, I presume, is victim, and we have the name here, Fujita Yosaku, for some reason romanized. Sahong Sigon. Is that the time of death? That's interesting. Sain Chirsiksa. I'll translate this again This is probably a truth bullet. I'll translate this off recording, and I'll put it again in a pinned comment and description. Problem is, there's something called YouTube TV, and I hate how they came up with that, because to me, the description and comments are a very integral part of YouTube. And if you're watching them on the TV and you don't see description or comments, then that's not YouTube. That's just tube. I don't know, that's not how you're supposed to do YouTube. Anyway. How painful it must have been. Fujita. By the way, why is the time of death here a question mark? Yeah, I noticed that. Well, obscuring at the time. There's a lot of like hints that the time of death would be obscured based on how they were characters in the restaurant. One of which you would seem would have been the culprit, and the whole it being cold in the room. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I could tell this was going to happen. That's when Mai steps in. That's probably unknown, that is. I guess that means we don't know. Mai? The temperature in this room is so low that the time of death cannot be determined by the warmth remaining on the corpse. Right. You can find out if you do the precision test. But I don't have the equipment for that. I couldn't figure it out myself, sorry. Okay, so... So, sometimes... Okay, sometimes... Not... telling the time of death is sus. But the room is cold. There's a physical reason why it's probable that that makes sense. When Mikon did in Danganronpa 2, I can't determine the time of death in this. It's just because she was hiding it intentionally. But there wasn't really seemed like a good reason why she wouldn't have been able to at the time. So that's why I was suspicious. It's not your fault. It's not Mai's fault. Don't be so depressed. Mai's like, yeah. She lowered her head, and I could see her thin hands tremble as she spoke. That's sus. She must be desperately holding something back. Who did this? Well, I can't really rule Mai out. So, obtained Monokuma file number 1, truth bullet. Yes, Google Translate is really literally translating these horse bullets every time. So, go to the handbook. Truth bullets. So Monokuma file is the 8th one. Okay, remove the text extractor. Put it back on. Okay, so there is 2 versions of Monokuma file. There's the truth bullet one, and then there's the full one. Okay. Come on, quit. Cool. Terea. Let's check more things. Here we go. Yosaku's. Who's Yosaku? Is that just Fujita? Yeah, it is. That is Fujita. Okay. Or Fujita. Favorite CD player is turned on. Did he hear this? We'll listen to it. The power's on, but no music comes out. I tried pressing other buttons just in case, but the CD was spinning inside. I couldn't hear the music. How did this happen? Did you find anything? That's... CD player? What? Is it broken? It was carried by Fujita. For some reason the power comes on, but the music doesn't come out. There must be a missing part inside this one. What would that be? Among the people I worked with at the construction site, there was a person whose hobby was collecting CDs. Thanks to that, I only know a bit on the side. But to fix this, I have to take apart I have to take the player. How did it break? When did it break? Huh. Ah. Wonderful, wonderful, Earthlings. What is this? Suddenly a parody here? Wait, Yosaku. That part was to bring out the fun of the broadcast only. Look at the people who have gathered look down at the people who have gathered so far. Don't show off your gag spirit here, only because the script is like this. Is in a broadcast accident itself, idiot. Oh. If you throw out the script for a second, whoa. Maybe it broke then. That would be a long time ago. Okay, a broken CD player is a truth bullet. So, the CD player broke the first broadcast. But the problem is, but Fujita still had his headphones on. But if it doesn't make sense, they would have his headphones on if the CD player was broken. That suggests that perhaps the culprit put the headphones on his head to obscure something. So, put the headphones on his head. No, I don't want to do any of that. Plant. Oh, audio equipment here. Several lines of cables are connected to control the broadcasting equipment. It seems that this machine was remodeled by Fujita. Oh. There's something vaguely white on the power button of the all-black device. Chalk? Poison? Bread? What is this powder? I tapped it with my finger. Yeah. I thought about giving it a try, but I gave up in the end. It might be German, but I won't make any judgments. What in the world? German? What about white powder is German? What in the world? Yeah, all my machine translators say Germany. Or German. Is German like cocaine? I don't know, but let's check it out. Maybe it might be germane. Is that what you're trying to say? Acquired white powder on the power button. Truth bullet. Yeah, things aren't really fitting together in any way so far. But continuing. Takahara, you're in the way of investigating those papers. Can't talk to Mai for some reason. Fuji's corpse is cold. Okay, Korea. How's the investigation going? Well, I can't say for sure. It's the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. I'm currently involved in preserving the site, so I can't freely investigate, so please do your own research. The culprit, I'll definitely find it. I'll definitely find him and get rid of him. I'll do my best. Culprit, find him and get rid of him. I'll do my best. Okay, the last person in here. The most most suspicious person in here. Seina. It might be strange to ask such a thing. Is it okay to stay here? Huh? I thought it would be very difficult. When I blurted out my words, Takenashi answered in a thin voice. It's more like, are you okay just staying here, basically? I thought it would be difficult for you to do that. I wanted to check it out. To hear he died, or he died, I can't believe it unless I see it myself. I didn't think it would be, but it really is. Tatenashi, or Tatenashi. I was about to comfort Tatenashi with a sad face when an unexpected person interrupted the conversation. Shimaga. I'll say, Yori, during the filming, I'm sorry, but can I ask you something? Huh, let me try to... I guess... Okay. So it's something like, some sarcastic comment like, I'm sorry if I'm in the middle of your filming something, your soap opera, something like that. But can I ask you something? Saya, you will definitely act alone, so don't get in the way. So you're investigating alone? You don't have any questions, don't worry. Well, something like, can translate to, if you don't have any questions, so don't worry. If possible, keep your mouth shut. Or something like that. But it's kind of hypocritical. I would like to ask you something. Oh, don't ask me anything. Can I ask a question now? Yes. When we broadcast until now, did Fujita do all the preparations by himself? Have you ever helped? Yes. I don't know how to handle the machine itself. It never touched a broadcast device. Mr. Yosaku is always... I don't need to hear anymore because I got the answer I wanted. Also, things I wanted to get to. Asayori cuts her off and disappears somewhere. Even at my own pace, it's a bit harsh. So... So Asayoru thinks who can operate the broadcasting equipment matters. And I can kind of see why. Maybe he thought maybe she could have killed Fujita and then done the broadcast afterwards herself. That's interesting. He thought of that. Like, it happened like way like in the morning. During the earliest broadcast. In the morning. Mr. Watanabe. I'm fine. Or I'm okay. Yes? That's not what's... That's what's written on my face. Are you worried about me now? Oh. Yes? Even so, it seems that I am the type to show all my emotions on my face. Oh. It's written all over your face. Are you worried about me? Okay, interesting. Yes. My expression for that is, my face is leaking. Acquired Tatenashi's testimony, horse truth bullet. Right, your testimony is, I don't know how to operate any of the machines. Only Fujita did that. Interesting. Could be wrong, though. Could be lying. Very easily be like, got that idea in me that she could be lying. Okay, there's the AC. The air conditioner's turned on to the lowest temperature. Was this the strange chill I felt when Kazuka Watanabe first came in? Or, it's my name. Yes, when I first came in. It's very cold. Because of site preservation, I can't turn it off. It's embarrassing. Oh. Acquired the lowest temperature air conditioner, truth bullet. Okay, so what we're getting from it now is Seina killed Fujita way early in the morning and then did broadcast herself after killing him. Or something crazy. Oh. Can I leave now? Yes, I can. Lets me go. I'm gonna interrupt you. Fine. He might be kind of like the point man, though. He's starting to act a bit like a point man. Gee. I think I could hear someone's voice. Gachi. I've been calling you for a while, but why aren't you answering me? Peek? What? Yozora. When did you come up next to me without even showing a sign? I just noticed. It's really rude. People call me, but I ignore them. Or it's rude. I call people, but they ignore me. I'm sorry. It would be better to keep the fact that I couldn't even see I was next to her. What? Since you noticed, I'll forgive you. Rather, has Watanabe-san found anything? I'm checking this and that, but I'm not sure yet. What's wrong? Nothing. It's no big deal, right? Enough. See you later. What is it? Except that's a lot more than just what is it. Let's do some more research and then talk to her again. Huh. So she'll matter later. Interesting. So I had to come back to her at some point. Okay, Yukari and Kana. Kachuki! I still can't believe this is real. I agree, I'd rather say it was a joke between Monokuma and Fujita. Heck. Yoshichin. Kaki Ise? Yoshichin. Hick. I'm still having a hard time, but maybe she's still having a hard time, and maybe she just opened up the wound. Maybe I just opened up the wound by touching it for no reason. Kajuki, Kana, can I take you for a second? Yukari? Kana needs some stability right now, so I'm going to take her and calm her down. I think I need to calm down a bit too. Yes, please. I nodded, and Yukari left the gym with Ise. Are they okay? Not yet. Interesting. There's stuff out here? Chaw. Eek! Chaw. Hey, go away, I don't want to die. Calm down, it's just me. Watanabe. She seems to be under a lot of mental pressure. So she has a distressed face, although I think Kazuki thinks it's a he, right? So he would say he. He has a distressed face. Might be better to leave him alone. Huh. Looks like the stairs second floor. I can't go behind the shutter. Can't go because the shutter is down. Window. Well, the women's restroom is not working. I don't think there's anything in the restroom this time. Sometimes it's really important, but I don't think this time. Okay, Mr. Interpreter is here. But he's not saying anything. Window. Oh, I can walk through the bed. It's an ordinary health room bed. Various medical books are lined up. You need to can you find what the white powder was in here? Where's the white powder? There's a TV for school broadcasting. There are some first aid kits with various medicines. TV. Various medical books lined up. Surveillance camera. Medical books lined up. So can't find the white powder in here, I guess. Still not talking to me. He might open up later. Just the TV. An iron door looks many times stronger than a window. Why are all the doors blocked? As expected, doesn't budge with my hands. So nothing else in there? Okay. There isn't like all the old student handbooks stored in a locker or something like that? Media room. The door won't open. Interesting. Oh, the store, not the media room. Okay, audio-visual isn't here then. Where's audio-visual? Is it this one? This room? Yeah, here's audio-visual. Okay. Let's talk to Tato first here. Something strange. Or do you know something? Like, let me try to grab that to isolate. Is something strange? Yeah. Yes. Anything is good. Or tell me anything. Oh. I kind of think of it. I was called to the gym earlier. To the gym? Who called you? I don't know. All I got was a weird note. Oh. 5:30. Come to the gym by 5:30 p.m. It's a secret from the other kids. It's a secret, huh? So, did you leave? Did you do it? I went, although I was about 5 minutes late. But when I got there, no one was there. Not even the body? So, they called Tato there, and when he went there, there was no one who called. Why? Obtained Shimagami's testimony truth bullet. So somebody... Huh, I don't know what to make of that in isolation so far. Okay, let's talk to Misako. Oh, what? That's just a huge screen. I seem to be having a hard time. The more I work, the more I don't come to my senses. Don't overdo it. Then you'll fall down from exhaustion. Thank you for your concern. Still, I'm going to try as hard as I can. How about the investigation? How's it going? It's hard to say anything now, but I'll do my best. I have to persevere. No matter what, I'll uncover the truth of this case. So, Misako. Yesterday, Tatenashi and Ise said they were looking after Fujita. How did it go? What happened? What time was it confirmed that Fujita was alright? 4 o'clock. No, it was 5 o'clock. In the meantime, Kana and Seina went to check on me one last time. So, he was last confirmed, okay, at 5 p.m. But there was doubt. She first said 4 p.m. Nobody in the gym at 5:30, according to Tato, but he didn't go. We may not have gone back into the media room. But there's no one in the gym though. And he was checked on by Kana and Seina at 05. That means they were safe, still safe until 5. Confirmation of Ise and Tatenashi truth bullets. Could go in the red door yet. We're about to. Tomorrow. No one in here. No one in here. There you are. What? Do you have anything to say? Well, I wanted to ask if you felt anything strange yesterday. Because even small things are good. Yesterday? No. Nothing like that. Question? Her reaction. How come she's so nervous? Okay, so she's hiding something, but she doesn't necessarily mean she's the blackened. This kind of nincompoop. It's a strange thing. I didn't feel anything unusual. Is that so? Thank you. Ah! Nothing strange, but I saw something earlier. Something? Earlier, I saw Ise hurriedly run from her private room to the gym. Okay, so Kana ran from private room to gym. Kana might have arranged the meeting with Tato at 5:30, potentially. Okay, it's also Chinami is really nervous. Ise, what time was it? 7:15. Is the broadcast supposed to start at 7? A little after 7:15. I think the time I saw her hanging her clothes on a clothesline was probably around that time. So it must be right. Or the time I saw him, what? Or me, what? What about, the pronouns are wrong. Who hung their clothes on the clothesline? Kana or you? She went for a private room, right? See, I changed my clothes properly. Okay, so you were hanging up your clothes. Okay, just making sure. As in Kachiru. As in the archer guy was hanging up his clothes. It's an archery suit, right? There are several sets of clothes. Because these clothes are roomy, the wind flows well and they are comfortable. Okay. So you got the... That didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but got the testimony that Kana at 7:15... The murder happened at 7:20, like that we discovered the body at 7:20, right? Right. 7:15 ran to gym. She would have just got there. And the archer was hanging up comfy clothes at the time, which might matter. No one in here? Should be easy to tell if the murder was going to happen in the broadcast room, too, because it's at that specific room. Anyway, I didn't guess about the where, though, when I did my guessing. Okay, I don't see anybody in here. Don't see any evidence to interact with either. Nothing looks weird, right? Nothing in the laundry room that really seems to be worth investigating. Now, the trash. The incinerator shutter is down. There's nothing to do with it right now, so let's leave it as is. Okay, no one around the private rooms. Warehouse. Oddly not important, it appears. Okay. So the interpreter wouldn't talk before, will he talk now? No. Interesting. Will you talk now? No. What about you? Yes? There, Yozora. Hey. Yes, Watanabe-san, what's going on? I explained Shimagami's work to Yozora. Who's Shimagami? Hold on. Names are so hard. Oh, Shimagami. Oh, Tato. Okay. So, we're talking about the note that Tato got at, sorry, there's a long pause there, at, to meet with somebody in the gym at 5:30, but he didn't find anyone there. Oh, you're gonna say that was Yozora, and he didn't see her because he just doesn't see her because you don't see her? Really? Actually, there are people who can guess, huh? I can guess some people. In times like these, it's better to share information. Won't you tell me too? If it's not based on his request, I have no choice, lol. Or hehe. Did you really hold back your words to this from the beginning? Your words to do this from the beginning? Oh. I saw on my way to the private room after I stopped at the health room. You saw what? Hasami inserting a note into the door of Shimagami's private room. Okay. So Hasami put a note under Shimagami's door. No, so Hasami is... I have to remember first and last names because they switch between them. Chinami. Oh. So that's the hair designer. Who is nervous. Hasami? Jeez, why? I was curious too, so I called from behind to ask. Yeah, I've always been treated like that. And she didn't see you. Okay. But Yozora, why did you go to the infirmary? Or the health room? You can tell just by looking at me. This is my arm. She had a bandage on her elbow as she said that. Huh? I fell and got skinned. I just came there for treatment because the bandage I was carrying fell off. Okay, so Yozora's testimony. So those often comments might matter. So Yozora fell and skinned her elbow. That might matter somehow. Or injured her elbow. But when Tato got to the gym, Hasami wasn't there. The hair designer wasn't there. Interesting. Let's go confront her about it. You. She won't talk to me. She report back to Misako somehow? How about reporting back to Tato? Okay, will the interpreter talk to me now? No. Okay, what have I not investigated? Nothing in the gym, huh? Oh! The cord. You can interact with that, apparently. Cable lines stretching like a spider web on the floor. Should they have gone somewhere? Various colors and thicknesses. There is a lot of broadcasting equipment, and even the restaurant has been remodeled so that it can be heard. So it seems like this is a mess. Watanabe. Does Watanabe have any thoughts? Mai. As I was looking at the cable, Mai suddenly approached me. What do you mean by thinking like that? What do you mean by thinking? What do you mean by thoughts? The weapon that, that was used to kill, or the weapon cable that was used to kill Mr. Fujita. A weapon? Mai is a super high school level researcher. Despite looking like this, I have some biological or forensic knowledge, so I did a little research. These are horizontal scars on Fujita's neck. But these are scars that can't be done unless you tighten them with a thin rope. A thin line, then. The criminal must have used this broadcasting cable as a weapon. It's easy to get, since it was originally in the broadcasting room, there shouldn't be any problems with the cleanup. A somewhat shrunken figure. As expected, the death of a friend seems to have come as a great shock to her as well. Thank you, Mai. It helped me a lot. You're welcome. Then I will continue my investigation. Cables on the floor. Truce bullet. Okay, I just needed the cables. Yo, nani? Hey, you guys. How are you doing your research? How is your research going? You must be working hard, right? Otherwise, your time just flies away. But stop now. Stop now. It's time for the class trial. Just probably don't stop now. But it's like English borrowed words. It's like, this is actually like satop. Satop. It's time for the class trial to begin soon. Oh, or maybe do stop. Oh no, stop or don't stop. We'll see what the next line yields. And everyone enter through the red door on the first floor. Okay, so he does say stop. There's only one red door, so you won't get it confused. See you later. A sudden broadcast of Monokuma that came out while I was in the middle of an investigation. In the end, isn't this the only way it can be? You said the red door on the first floor, right? You said the red door on the first floor, right? It's embarrassing to think that only here is red. Huh? How's that embarrassing? Let's go in. That's how Google Translate translates a lot of similar concepts to be embarrassing. First thing I noticed when I opened the door was the iron barred elevator entrance and the other kids gathering in front of it. Oh, it's Mr. Watanabe. I also came. Probably, I also came. Yes. Or you came too? Yes. No, it's not. It's you. So it's you came too? Did everyone gather with it? Gather here? What kind of guy is he? Koime. Kana. Is she gonna be okay? To some extent, she's okay. But, yes. Ah, poo-poo, ooh, poo-poo. Welcome. It's like, welcome, welcome. But it's like an English borrowed welcome. So it actually says, welcome. Are you all gathered? Are you all together? Are you all? Take the elevator in front of you and press the button to go down, and it will guide you to the courtroom. I decided to not try to Monokuma voice this for some reason. And it will guide you to the courtroom. Then, I'll wait at the courtroom. Kasuki, I think it's better to keep your resolve. Yes. Misako knows who is the protagonist. She knows what's up. She can tell who's the frayer. What do I do now? Oh, I gotta move. Okay. Yes, okay. Oh, I get to talk to everybody. Watanabe-kun. This Chepin. Okay, after this trial. That... Can I call you by... this name? It doesn't matter. I guess I'll have to focus on the trial for now. Of course. So... Can I call this by name? Okay, something... I don't know what she means, but something to do with names. Doesn't seem very important, I would assume. In the end, I have no choice but we have no choice but to do it. Class trial. Kana Ise with a distressed expression on her face. I don't think it's the right time to talk. I hate this. I will definitely find him. You have to be straight, because I don't want to die or something. It's translating it to I'm not risking my life, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay, so it's na hana. I'm not losing my life. Huh. It seems... because I'm not losing my life. That's kind of suspicious. But there's no evidence pointing toward her, though. My... well, you can do it, right? I was counting on the pro tag for some reason. It's okay. I'm sure you can overcome it. Or we can overcome it, but... how would you know the difference? Korean, there's no pronoun there. There really is a murderer among us? I still can't believe it. I'm looking forward to it. He's gonna be like the Nagito Kokichi about this. He's gonna like stir the pot. Stir the poop when the trial starts unexpectedly. He's gonna get all loud all of a sudden. He's a big Danganronpa fan. Which seems to suggest he's not gonna be the person who did it. Let's go find the culprit and kill him. Well, so he's looking forward to the not he, her. Torea is looking forward to the execution, apparently. Keep calling her a him. Oh, really? How did it end up like this? Interpreter guy, who wouldn't talk to me during the investigation. Please do your best. It's not my intention, but it seems like my life has been entangled. I don't have the desire to die yet. We must go with our hearts together. Only then will we be able to overcome it. Here goes. We can't get coins here, right? That's a weird line. Let me put it in deval. Deval. It's not, deval says it's not just my life on the line. Okay, deval translates it like this. This is kind of profane, but this is goofy. I need to get my shit together. It's not just my life on the line. Which I guess makes more sense. Okay. Deval is always a little bit raunchy, as I've experienced. The elevator in which we boarded created an eerie atmosphere, as if being sucked into an abyss. Everyone, including Kazukina wants it not, including including me, kept their mouths shut. Including me, that is. Okay. Did everyone feel the fear of I might die here today? The murderer who killed Fujita. If Black is not found, everyone except him will die. Under reasonable conditions, was heading to the courtroom while entrusting himself to the elevator. Oh, head to the courtroom while entrusting myself to the elevator. You have to keep your spirits up. This isn't just my problem. We'll definitely get over it, or get through it. Even for Fujita, who was unjustly murdered. While making that promise, the elevator finally stopped moving. The chamber unfolded before my eyes. The judge unfolded before my eyes. So I guess it's kind of like the courtroom unfolded before my eyes. Yes, the courtroom unfolded before my eyes. Or stretched out before me. I don't know why it got translated to judge by Google Translate. Google Translate sucks. They gave pun chung. I mean, the chung implies it's a room, right? Should probably if I want to save my game. Yahoo! Bonjour! Bonjour! Okay. Or Kapangwa. Either way, you're welcome! Eh. Don't you feel like a judge? It's like a Hollywood atmosphere while we're recreating this. Like we're recreating a Hollywood atmosphere. It's such bad taste, isn't it? I'm not the one you have to fight. Don't make such a scary face. You haven't forgotten, have you? The fact that you have to find the black hiding among you. You guys can go to the seat with your name written on the circular court in front of you. Waist up, huh? Or just move. Following Monokuma's instructions, I headed to the designated seat. Even though it isn't really a seat, you don't sit down in it. The seat metaphorically, like a seat in like a governing body. The round stones, I guess, or pulpits, arranged so that everyone can see their face, each other's face. Oddly, there is 16. One does have an X on it. So, based on the tutorial illustration, the person just to the left of Monokuma is the hair designer, right? Shinami. So that would suggest that Shinami was the blackened. I still think it's Seina for some reason, but if it's Shinami because she's in the right place in the seat relative, well, okay. I have to admit that I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, that hint. The heavy air of the courtroom soon became contagious, creating an even heavier silence. I must find him. The murderer who killed Kazuki is me, who killed Fujita, the hidden black among us. And the curtain opens. Huh. So, Shinami's, like trial thingy doesn't change with her hair. A trial of life and death, a game of life and death. A game of life and death. The other said, oh, Misako looks intense. A mystery of life and death. Why does Mai not have glasses? What is this? Oh, of course. I accidentally hit the wrong hotkey. Excuses for life, okay? Or it's like finding a reason to live. These lines don't really matter. Life-threatening trust. Risking your life in a class trial. Whatever those mean. Save the game, yes. There are only 16 slots, so I'm going to save in slot 15. And then I'm going to end the game there. So I have to come up with another prediction after I translate the truth bullets and everything and look at the Monokuma file. We really don't have very much to go off though. We have mysterious white powder on the button that starts the machine, right? The broadcast machine. But I don't have any other white powder anywhere else to cross-reference it with. We didn't find any white powder in the the health room or anything like that. And then he was strangled with a cord that was unplugged. But that doesn't really help, because who did the strangling? We know the time of death is really obscured. Because it was really cold in there. And the person who did it would have had to know that they could obscure the time of death by making it cold. I don't know how much that helps figure out who did it. And then there was food that was uneaten, but I don't know how old the food was. Fujita was seen alive around 5 p.m., apparently, according to Misako. Kane ran over there around 7:15, which I presume is somewhere around 5 minutes before the body was discovered by other classmates. Makes her seem less guilty. The Cuber was suspicious that Saina might know how to operate the machine, but she claimed she didn't. Chinami, the hair designer, left the ultimate farmer, Tato, a note to meet her in the gym, but then when Tato showed up late, by about 5 minutes, she wasn't there. So he missed the appointment. Maybe she's impatient. That's it. There's really not much to go off there. That is really lean. That is super lean. Like, nothing really points to anybody specifically. That is just really lean. Wow. Huh. Okay. So I believe this is begin the trial. We don't want to do that yet. So let's probably like review the characters and the truth bullets. So hopefully if we load the save though, we'll load up right here and I can do those two things at the beginning. This is presume this is truth bullets and that's like something else. So I'll go translate so much of stuff and I'll come back and do the trial sometime later. I don't know how I'm going to survive this trial because it's going to be in Korean and the truth bullets are not going to be like hookable text, right? So it's going to be pretty intense. There's like no way this is going to work. How in the world would I make this work? Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, probably tomorrow. Bye!